I keep getting the number of games wrong because they keep changing. And they'll probably change again, is my guess, based on what we're seeing. So, Sheets, I guess the first thing I mentioned, I know you liked Cincinnati earlier, and they look to certainly be in a tricky situation. What's changed for you sort of since the earlier part of the day, if anything?
Well, yeah. So what's annoying is that, again, they haven't officially canceled the Twins game, right? So which means is that all the ownership is wrong, you know?
Right.
So I have to wait a little while before I see what I want to do. I'm certainly not playing that game. So we have to decide what to do about these early games. And as far as the Cincinnati Colorado game is, it seems okay as far as weather goes, but certainly not great.
Right.
And in a weird way, I think given what's supposed to happen, I actually feel a little more comfortable with the pitching than like the hitting, sort of, in a weird way, because
the way the weather is.
I can get through 6 innings. You know what I mean? Like, so I have to figure out what I want to do with that, because if there's no Ober, then we're back to those high upside guys that we talked about earlier. If you don't want to play Lodolo, that would be Gallen, Sale, and maybe Scherzer, depending on what you think about that. And all the ownership that I have right now is 100% wrong because they all presume that Ober is playing for openers, and he's like, I would say 5% to play. Okay.
Right.
And Lodolo is, that's still not 100% either. So I don't know exactly what I want to do. I think I want to play. I'm just looking at the salaries. I think I want to play Gallen, if you want to know the truth. At 8,900.
Yep.
And I definitely want to play Sale, but I'm not as good as you. I can't play both of them. If I play both of them, I'm playing. I wouldn't know what to do with the rest of my lineups. I would end up with some Oakland 5-man for openers, and then kind of figure the rest out. So, what other pitching is it? Who's all of a sudden, I was laughing, but Colin Ray is not the worst at 10% ownership. Again, that's all going to change, but.
So it's interesting because I have Colin Ray like 18%. I'm not playing a ton of lineups, but I also love Pittsburgh.
Right.
So try and figure that one out. I don't know.
Maybe you could just play Kikuchi. He's 8,200. He's a late game, so you can change your mind later if you want. And then the other guy who looks a little bit. I mean, these guys are all looking so much closer now. Like Bello even is in play a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Even. Actually, I don't want to do this, but can you play Quantrill at 5%? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, the thing is, I still feel enough worried about that game where I'm okay and I like Lodolo a lot. I don't think it's like an absolute hammer. He has to be the best pitcher on the slate type of play at all.
Right.
But I don't know, where do we really think he's going to be owned? It's still bizarre because for whatever reason, I cannot get him to show up on SaberSim for me. Oh, there he is.
What's going on with you over there?
Oh, I know what happened. I was sorting about using other projections, Goldie's projections, and that was the problem. And I think Goldie hasn't updated it since they didn't have it this morning. Anyway.
I have him at 24% projected ownership.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm thinking is that I think there's a lot of other pivots, and you throw the weather in there on top of it, and I don't think he's a must-play by any means.
Well, he's going to be higher because Ober's going to be gone.
He's going to be higher, but same with Gallen.
Yeah.
Same with Scherzer. I don't necessarily like him enough to where I need to do it, and I have to worry about the weather if I do it. You know what I mean?
Colorado's really bad.
I agree. Look, I mean, everything on paper it makes enough sense. For what it's worth, Colorado is, bad against lefties, a little bit better than they are against righties. Like, I guess that's just throwing something out there. I am going to take the side of erring on the Scherzer Gallen side. I've heard speculation from some different stuff I was listening to today that they think that Scherzer could be basically a full go if he want, if they want to do that with him, that they think he's totally ready to throw 105 pitches or whatever. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm just saying, if he has a no-hitter in the 8th through 8, I think he'll pitch in the 9th.
Right.
Gallen and him are I feel the best about going with on DraftKings. On FanDuel, if I only had one pitcher to use on this whole slate, it definitely would be Chris Sale. I like Chris Sale as the best play. He's a little more expensive than the other guys. So on FanDuel, he's the only pitcher I'm using. On DraftKings, Gallen, Scherzer, then Gilbert for me, followed by Irvin, Kikuchi, and Ray.
That's interesting. So for me on FanDuel, I kind of like the most on FanDuel. I think I like Scherzer.
Because the price?
Yeah, the price, and because if he's, he's going to pitch up, he's going to get his quality start. I mean, like.
Maybe. That's the one thing about the words. I'm totally good with it. He's $2,200 cheaper than Sale. I had a build that I liked with your Oakland and Houston that I could get together over there. So I just sort of stuck with that. I think Ray has an excellent chance of getting. This is ridiculous. We're having it happen again. Nobody's stolen money from anything. This is absolutely ridiculous. I don't have any idea where these idiots are coming from again.
What happened?
We're getting the same lunatic spam thing.
Did you do the thing though with the?
I forgot because we were jumping on. We've had Brandon doing it. It just sort of got in the habit of that. So just lunatics out there, and go ahead, be lunatics, guys. Whatever, you'll just get blocked in a minute and make up completely nonsensical things that other people are getting you guys to say for no reason. Get out of here. Anyway, all right, moving back to the slate. What do you like as far as the main stacks? I know you like Oakland a lot, but what else are you getting to?
I don't like Oakland. I mean,
I thought you did.
I like Texas. I guess I do like Oakland. It's like Cincinnati, if they could play. Boston. Yeah, so that Boston-Oakland game, back to that. But Boston's popular. How about something you just how about Pittsburgh? I mean.
Yeah, I like Pittsburgh. I like that idea a little bit. They don't have O'Neal Cruz, which kind of lowered my love for them today a little bit. But I just have a feeling that we're going to see, like, for a Tuesday slate, I think Boston might end up being one of the highest owned teams we've seen all season. Just especially on FanDuel, not as much on DraftKings, but still a lot. It's going to be really popular. And I think Texas would be the team that comes in second. So I'm trying to avoid those as 5-man stacks unless I pitch Jake Irvin. You know what I mean? That's the way. That's the other way you can get different with that one. Just thanks for that, MJ. Apparently, Roth is now saying since he isn't safe. I think it's pretty similar to what we already saw, but I'm sure that he's elaborated a little on it. So I like I like the Oakland, but I prefer it as a mini. That's why I don't mind doing the 4-man on FanDuel. I love Houston, and on DraftKings, I'm getting to tons of Milwaukee and Pittsburgh. Milwaukee is more the 3-man or the 4-man to go with my Pittsburgh 4 or my Pittsburgh 5 or somebody else's 4 and 5. Because I just don't love the offense in a bullpen game as a stacking option. Like in general, I just don't think it's the right thing you always want to do, unless it's like an outrageous day of some sort. So I'm getting to those as my priorities, though. The Milwaukee's as a side piece, more interested in the value that you get with Pittsburgh. And I like, again, I'm using Boston, but 4 or less only, or with Irvin. And then I'm using Houston again. So those are sort of all the teams that I'm rotating through my mix here.
Well, when I run something, I have to.
Right side officially postponed. So before you run anything, maybe wait to run.
Oh, good. I mean, well, I'll X them out and run this just to see what it looks like anyway. But again, hopefully all the ownership will then redo. So what's this? Waka out. Yeah, okay, obviously.
It should be interesting. I think that the ownership is going to condense, as you suggested. I don't know if it'll condense on Lodolo as much. I think people are going to start getting worried about the weather a little bit. I
thought you said the Roth said it was safe now, no?
No, he said it isn't safe.
Oh, okay.
He never said it was safe. Like, I think that Zach Gallen, Chris Sale, Scherzer are just going to be pumped up. I don't think people are going to flip over to Blanco that much, and I think that's kind of an interesting play. I think you'll get some Kikuchi. Yeah, that's probably where it goes between those guys. It is interesting that no one's playing Logan Gilbert tonight, by the way.
Well, he hasn't really done anything in a while. I mean,
what does that mean, the doing anything in a while? Because for pitchers, I don't look at it like that. I just think it's so circumstantial and situational. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like to me, what is like he averages, what is he? I think he averages the most on this slate outside of Sale. Let me just double check my Gilbert love here. I mean, he put up 31 and 38 2 and 3 starts, or 3 and 4 starts ago, I guess. Those are pretty good. And then he had to face Baltimore. I'm not going to hold that against him. He had a meh outing against Minnesota, but he's a really good pitcher who's, when he's on, you can get a lot out of him. I mean, just look at the overall numbers. I mean, if you looked at the overall numbers this season outside of Sale, I think you'd say he's probably been the best pitcher on the slate. Pretty comfortable with that. So I like him a little bit. And it's weird to play like I like the Kikuchi play just fine, but talk about not having like a ceiling in any real way. Like the guy's been over 20 like once or twice the whole season,
Yeah. And maybe we should just try to play either Gallon or Sale and just be done with it. Not even done with it.
I like that overall. Between the both sides, that would be what I would do. And I do like the Scherzer play a little bit. I thought he was going to be a little lower owned, which he's definitely not going to be anymore. And I think that Jake Irvin, like, I know it could be smoke and mirrors to some people. I'll take a flyer on a 0% owned guy if I want to stack Boston. And he's been like awesome this season. He's got a 1 whip. He's got a 2.8 ERA. He's got 94 Ks in how many innings? Let me just double check this. Yeah, he's a little less than a strikeout an inning. I can live with taking a gamble on a guy like that when he's going to have 0 ownership. So Brendan is asking thoughts about Ray on FanDuel. My thoughts are there's no way I would do it. If I'm playing on FanDuel, there's occasionally a spot where you want to have the value if you want to play, I don't know, let's say Aaron Judge and Shohei were both playing and you wanted to fit Devers in or something, and then you needed a pitcher for a really cheap salary. Then I could see doing it. I can't get to the Ray. I actually don't think it's like unusual. I think people are going to play him over there. I would just much rather play Kikuchi at basically the same ownership. I think this Ray thing might steam a little bit higher than people think, because I've heard a lot of people talking about it. And he's been, like, to his credit, he's been mostly good this year. There's also like a chance he throws 65 pitches. We just occasionally see that from him. You don't really know when it's going to come, even when he's pitching well. He did it against I guess that game he was sort of struggling, but he had a couple games earlier this year where he was like, he had 4 innings and no runs, 4 hits, and he had thrown 70 pitches for Philly. They took him out. You know what I mean? Took him out after 5 1/3 with 1 run against Chicago. Took him out 5 2/3 with 2 runs. It was 68 pitches against Boston. I just would rather not make my one pitcher like, oh, okay, I'm about to get my quality start, my everything, and then he doesn't get to come out in the 6th inning for some weird reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I got to do this one again. So on FanDuel, I'm going to run the same thing, but I'll run it without. Oh, I guess they already took it down, I guess. The Ober, the Minnesota game. Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, Sabres. If you're looking for leverage, you're getting a bunch of Miami actually. Pretty awkward team to come up with.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me on this slate, but
yeah,
we have seen like Blanco's have his ups and downs at times, for what it's worth.
Oh, and here's the other one I wanted to revisit. We kind of like we talked about it late, but then you said maybe people could pick up on. I haven't seen anybody mention it yet. How about Seattle again?
Yeah, I've thrown them in. I've used more pieces, like them as a mini stack, because I just don't trust them to score runs in general. But it's funny. Has there been a team that's been cursed as much in the DFS world that's actually in first place right now in baseball? Like every day, everybody just rips on Seattle. I like that idea, Sheets. I think that's a good idea. And it's the only issue with them, again, is like you're facing a good team with a good bullpen and not great hitters park, but it's actually a park upgrade for them. So why not? I mean, they're super cheap. I have no issue with it. I like it.
That pitcher's been awful.
He has. Missouri's been like the worst. I think it's worth it. I totally do. I'm good with it. Also, you get the extra bats that they're earning. There's a lot of things there. MJ's asking he asked me what my favorite stacks were. So I'm going to go with the stacks that I'm playing the most as Houston. And they're close 1 and 2. I don't feel like I have a strong take on the 1-2s. I like Houston, And I like Oakland as a more of a mini stack, but again, 4-man fine. That's why I'm playing them more on FanDuel. I like Boston as the logical team, but there's no way I'm stacking a team that's going to be 30% owned as a 5-man unless I'm playing Jake Irvin. And even then, I'm probably just using a 4-man. I like Texas, but again, too much ownership for me. So I'm not going to, no 5-mans. So mostly my 5-mans are going to be Houston, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, and even those are, I guess I have a lot of 4-4s today. And I guess that's sort of what it is, what it is. No one's playing this Pittsburgh game. And look, I have 23% of Crawford in my little stacks. And so I've got some Seattle mini stacks. I just didn't get to the full stack myself.
I'm just going to have to redo everything with the new ownerships.
Do you think they're updated fully?
Well, not yet, but I have to. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna...
No, I would imagine they'd be pretty close though, because you know how it is when it's all day and you sort of are ready for it.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't think so?
When they announced that when the top pitcher on the slate maybe is out,
Yeah, it's definitely still adjusting because right now I'm seeing Scherzer as the highest owned pitcher, and that's not going to happen. He's going to be owned, but he's not going to be the highest owned pitcher. Maybe I should just play Scherzer over there and play the sale on DraftKings. I like my build a little too much to do that, I think.
Yeah, once again, like getting all this Miami on both sites. Weird. Let's see.
That's interesting. I'm trying to figure out what.
I don't know. Any more weather news here? Let's see.
I'm going to look at Blanco real quick and take a look if I'm not missing something. I should say Blanco's actually been the next best pitcher behind Sale this season. He's been pretty great.
I know, and there's totals like two or whatever that is. Like
I know. He's like wow, Jesus. Talk about ceiling it. It's nice when your first start you throw a no-hitter. always nice to get off on the right start. Yeah. But what was funny that night, Cheese, is whoever, I think it was Toronto they were playing. That was like the most stacked team by far of the night, and he was like 0.25% owned or something. It was like ridiculous. India scratched if it matters. Thanks, MJ. That is actually valuable.
That's a very big deal, actually.
He's always on top of it. He's our guy. And Brendan, we haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you back in here.
And there's a break here between the 8:10. There's an 8:10, and then there's the 9:30s. So that's a I mean, typically there's two windows to late swap. After like 7:45, you can late swap a little bit if you wanted to. Yeah. And then definitely at like 9:15. And let me just make sure there's no like big gap to 10:30. Now all these are like 9:40s. Okay.
Yeah. So I promised if I won that golf tournament, I was going to go play the main event and drive overnight or not overnight, or leave early and go play it just to go with it. And of course, my friends call me like on literally it's like 11 a.m. It would be day 2 registration. It would end at 4:40. So it takes almost that exact amount of time to get to Vegas, but only if everything goes your way to drive. And there's no flights because I'm in Santa Barbara. So at the time, anyway. So I almost went though. Yeah, they're like, no, we'll put you up. We've got rooms for you. We're staking you for this one. And I'm just like, guys, if you guys would have called me any other moment, I would have been in. I would have been in any other moment. And so they were kind of bummed, but they're probably.
Dude, by the way, do you know who was? I mean, you know this already. Who freaking just racks up fantasy points? Like, I mean, I thought Bobby Witt was insane. This freaking Dela Cruz from the Reds is insanity.
There's nothing like it. It's crazy. I've watched games where he goes like 0 for 4 and somehow stole 3 bases or 4 bases or something. Like, I'm
just barely missed stealing home for like another one.
Yeah, no, he's nuts. And he goes for it every time. Like, he really likes to go. And then he's got the power on top of it. He is awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty wild last night when he was outscoring the entire field until late in the day.
Until the entire Twins game blew up. I mean, like.
Yeah, both sides, right? Yeah. All right. What else do we have? Any other questions or thoughts, guys?
No, I'm just waiting on these ownerships to kind of juice up a little bit. And then I'll have to rerun everything.
Yeah. I'm very curious about the Cincinnati game. And it's not like Pittsburgh is right, but I'm trying to figure out what like I don't know the Storms well enough or what's happening.
So Kansas City, St. Louis is postponed, but that's still in the chart for some reason. Minnesota White Sox. Yeah, some sites still even have them in, so I'm gonna have to wait.
Yeah. Rooker, Brent Rooker, Bregman.
Well, I would. Boy, part of me really wants to play this Seattle.
I think you should. I really
I don't know.
I don't think there's what's wrong with that. Like that's awesome.
Particularly wrong. I mean, Boston, Oakland, Cincinnati, if they play. Milwaukee, Pittsburgh, not really. Houston, I suppose. Texas, Seattle. And then there was that really weird idea of playing Toronto. Just hoping that Snell was just toast.
I actually like the idea. Just again, if you put it at any other park, I would have really thought about it. Like, I'll play my San Francisco's during a day slate or something like that. You know, that's just me. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's probably what I end up doing. I
just mean like if Snell like walks the first two guys of the game, it's like that's like Oli end free. I mean, it's like
I just want to throw out something that I've done a lot of my life. Like look, it's not that it always works, but it's been very good to me in the past. If you're going to play a chalky-ish thing, like let's say on FanDuel, you're playing like a Boston stack with Connor Wong, which I would play him in that stack for sure. I love him. Play Langoliers in the same lineup, you know what I mean? And just lock up that position. It's just going to be a way that people don't build that much. You know what I mean?
Wait, say that again.
I like using the catchers and using two catchers specifically because they're on the other side of the same game. I like them both. They're about the same price. But if I want to play like a Boston stack, a way you can get different with it is by playing Langoliers in that same lineup along with Connor Wong because you're using two catchers, which people just don't think about doing. Squatch is asking us which FanDuel stacks. I will say for myself, Boston is going to be so popular. Use them for pieces, not for full stacks, in my opinion. I really like I like Oakland. I like Houston. And I still like both sides of the Pittsburgh-Milwaukee game. Oh, Pingalore is asking about what about a 5-3 Washington what about a Washington part of the 5-3? He's saying Ruiz, Yepes, Wood. I think it's exactly right, Pingalore. I think it's exactly how I would do it if you're going to play them. You play the super cheap guys with a little bit of pop upside. Yepes is in there, by the way. Minimum cost on FanDuel, $2,500 on DraftKings. I would absolutely be good with 3-man there. And I think if you want to take a shot with the Mets stack, you can go ahead. If you just look at what Jake Irvin's been doing, including what he just did to the Mets, it's really hard to just click that button for me. But yeah, the Mets, you know, they can get hot. They've been really good. I just didn't get to it myself.
I'll tell you who. Boy, if I actually get away with this, I could be like a freaking superhero, and play Quantrill like I was just kind of threatening to do.
I thought you were going to go back to the Seattle. I think the Seattle thing is.
No, it's going to be Quantrill with Seattle. I mean, that's.
There, just go 0.000% owned.
Something like that.
You literally will probably be the only person in the tournament because no simulation. Nothing's going to come up with Quantrill and playing Seattle.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I don't think Quantrill. Maybe the Seattle part for sure. I'd actually expect it, but we still don't. Do we have the official lineup for Texas? No, not yet. Ugh, I hate when these other teams travel out west and they take forever to get their lineups in.
Well, and the other thing that's cool, Bobby, is that if I play play Quantrill in Seattle, and then Quantrill just goes off, I don't have to play Seattle.
It's actually true.
You know,
the only problem is he's never really going to go off. You know what I mean?
But if he does, then I can change my mind and I can go play I could play like Texas. You know,
yeah. I thought I was going to be playing way from ahead last night because I had all the late stuff, but I had my pitchers where I had the 4K pitcher who was great. He put up 20 something or whatever, and I had the other, who was the other nut pick? Abbott. I had Abbott everywhere. I just couldn't get any of the hitting right.
Yeah, that was a good read by me when I said no one would score over 20 from the pitchers. I think everybody scored over 20.
Instead, they decided to go the other way, and everybody went out there and did it.
Everybody scored over 20.
But you're right, though. Like, it's not a normal. I don't know. It was surprising. It was just one of those slates. Who was it? the Garenberg or whatever from Stochastic. I really like the guy a lot. I think he has great content. He's one of the few basketball guys that I really like who's in DFS. I almost
he won one of the golf things this weekend.
He won one of the golf things. So we were sort of, I was messaging him on his thing, but he wrote last night. He's like, I guess he bet the over in every game or something like that. And at one point, like there was like 2 runs scored through like 7 innings in all the games.
Then the only guys that had home runs with Martin Maldonado, and then that rookie from the Reds who hit the what's his name? The guy hit like 500 yards, 500 feet.
I didn't see it.
Like Lidl or something, not Lidl, something like Hides.
Who did?
Hides, I think's his name.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He smoked it.
I didn't see it, but I just saw the alert.
Oh my god! I think it was like 460 feet or something. It was crazy.
Jesus. It really tells you how far a ball really goes, because you watch Ohtani at some of these balls, they look like they went like 700 feet, and they're like, oh, it went 455, and I'm like, it feels like it went like a lot further than that.
Ohtani just swings it so hard.
Yeah. This is an interesting question from OA, which we should probably answer, because it's an interesting one. Do you let projections dictate your? I already know your answer, obviously, but I want to hear your thing. Do you let projections dictate your stack, 5-3, 4-2, et cetera, or something else like totals, et cetera?
For me, it's projections, because the projections are a function of the totals.
That's right. I agree with that totally. If I'm playing 150, of course I'm going to script and I'm going to let it do something for me, but I'll probably force in a couple 4-mans. But I personally, when I hand build, I'm not necessarily worried about exactly whether it's different than what the projections are giving me, especially because I'm only building if I'm only building a few lineups. But if I was building like 150 by hand, and then none of them matched up with any of the stacks they gave you on the site, I'd probably take a look back at it. All right. What else? Good soccer game today. I was watching it while I was.
That was crazy.
It was a great game.
It was a great, especially the first like half hour, especially. I mean,
yeah, it was just wild stuff. Hey, I've watched a lot of these games now, or at least parts of them. It just looks like that Spanish team is so much better. Only team that looked close to them to me was Germany. Like, because they just control everything.
They do.
You know what I'm gonna do?
I don't know. I don't know. It's France was up 1-0 pretty quickly.
They were up 1-0 pretty quickly, and then what happened? They just got dominated the rest of the way, though. I mean, ball possession and things like that.
Yeah, they didn't let our guy play the Thuram or whatever.
I know, and they should have, because they didn't get that second a chance at goal until like the 80-something minute.
I know, but they brought other guys in instead. It was a little annoying.
I know. I was kind of surprised they didn't. I know he didn't play great in the previous game, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had him as captain, and I thought it was the sneaky. I used the cheapest guy playing, who's the defender, who's really going to be hard for him to get points for France, just hoping something happened.
Yeah.
And, he was like negative points, I'm pretty sure. All right. I'm going to go finish my builds unless there's anything else we want to go over. Some good questions. Guys, we appreciate all the love. Please click like and subscribe, all that stuff. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're good. Tomorrow we'll do the golf.
Yep.
I'm meeting with by the way, just so you know, actually let's do this offline.